Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report, episode 284. Oh my goodness. My Stream Deck doesn't want to work again. So I guess I'll work on that when I get off there. Hold on just a second. I got to finish getting this ready. There we go. Okay, I'm up. I don't know. Yeah, it's never easy sometimes, isn't it? Well, thank y'all for tuning in today to the JP8 Report. Don't forget, if you are first time watching the JP8 Report, please click that follow button, and then everyone please click that like button, and then share the podcast if you can. All right, and remember, I simulcast or rebroadcast through to X and YouTube and Facebook. All right, so I'm on those platforms also, but Rumble is number one, no matter what. All right. So I was just watching a little bit of Fox News and stuff, and just saw that Barry Manilow has lung cancer. I don't know if a lot of people remember who he is and stuff, but he's a singer from the 60s and 70s. He's 82 years old. And wow. All right, been a busy weekend getting ready for Christmas and stuff. So it's going to be a quick week. Remember, I'm on today and tomorrow, and then I'm off all the way until Monday. That's when the next time I'll be on, unless something happens, and I'll go on Friday if I need to. All right, I'll probably just name that one like episode 285 breaking news or something. All right, but we'll see. All right. And tomorrow's broadcast is primarily going to be America 250 events all the way through Saturday. All right. So let's go to America 250. All right. So I have a letter from John Sullivan to John Adams, and it's from the 21st of December, 1775. A little bit over a page, okay? So from John Sullivan, camp on Winter Hill, December 21, 1775. Did not the hurry of your affairs prevent, I should often write you respecting the states, dear sir, of our army. But it has come to my fortune to be employed almost night and day. When I had Winter Hill almost completed, I was ordered to Plowed Hill, where for a long time I was almost day and night fortifying, since I have been ordered to the eastward to fortify and defend Piscataway Harbor, but unfortunately was obliged to return without an opportunity of proving the works I had taken so much pains to construct. Let me stop there. That's the life of a soldier. You fortify, then you move. Leave it for somebody else. This being, I was called upon to raise 2,000 troops from New Hampshire and bring them on the line in 10 days. This I undertook and was happy enough to perform. Otherwise, the defection of the Connecticut troops might have proven fatal to us. I might have added that 3,000 from your colony arrived at the same time to supply the defect. This, with the other necessary business in my department, was so far engaged my time and attention that I hope you will not require an apology for my not writing. I am now many things to I now have many things to write you, but must content myself with mentioning a few of them at present and leave the residue for another opportunity. I will, in the first place, inform you that we have possession in almost every advantageous post round Boston, from whence we might with great ease burn and destroy the town. Was it not that we failed in very trifling manner, namely, we have no powder to do it with. However, we have a sufficiency for the small arms. We are not without hopes to become masters of the town. Old Boreas and Jack Frost are now at work building a bridge over all the rivers, bay, and etc., etc. That's what he wrote. Which once completed, we take possession of the town or perish in the attempt. I have the greatest reason to believe that I shall be saved, for my faith is very strong. I have the great liberty of the possession of your house. Mrs. Adams was kind enough to honor me with a visit the other day in company with a number of ladies and the Reverend Mr. Smith. She gave me powder to enter and take possession. There is nothing now wanting but your consent, and I shall wait till the bridge is completed, and unless given before that time shall make a forcibly entry and leave you to bring your action. I hope in less than 3 weeks to write you from Boston. We didn't retake Boston until like March. Okay, that's 3 more months. The prisoners taken in our privateers are sent to England to trial, and so is Colonel Allen. This is glorious encouragement for people to engage in our service when the prisoners are treated with so much humanity and respect that the law of retaliation not put forth in force against them. I know you have published a declaration or sort, but I never knew a man to feel the weight of the chains of the imprisonment by mere declarations on paper, and believe me, till the barbarous usage of our prisoners is retaliated, and we shall be miserable. Let me ask whether we have anything to hope for from the mercy of His Majesty and His ministers. Have we any encouragement from the people of Great Britain? Could they exert themselves more against us if we had shaken off the yoke and declared ourselves independent? Why then, in God's name, is it not done? Whence arises the spirit of moderation? This want of decision. Do the members of your respectable body think the enemy will throw their shot and shells with more force than at the present? Do we think the fate of Charleston and Falmouth might have been worse if the King's proclamation more severe, if we had openly declared war? Could we have treated the prisoners worse if we were in an open and avowed rebellion than they do now? Why then do we call ourselves freemen and act the part of timid slaves? I don't apply this to you. I know you too well to suspect your firmness and resolution. But let me beg of you to use those talents I know you possess to destroy the spirit of moderation, which has almost ruined, and if not speedily rooted out, will prove the final overthrow of America. The spirit of them possession. That spirit gave them possession of Boston, lost all of our arms and ammunition, and now causes our brethren, which have fallen in their hands, to be treated like rebels. Enough of this. I feel too sensibly to write more on this subject. I beg you to make more respectable compliments to Mr. Hancock, and your brother delegates, also to Colonel Lee and those worthy brethren who labored with us in the vineyard when I had the honor to be with you in the Senate. You may venture to assure them that when the opportunity presents, if I should not have the courage enough to fight myself, shall do I in all my power to encourage others. Dear sir, I am with much esteem and your most humble servant, John Sullivan. Okay. In the early days of the revolution. The next thing happened today in South Carolina. Matter of fact, in the evening time, it was the Battle of Great Cane Brake. Okay, and the end result was one patriot wounded and 6 loyalists killed and 130 captured. And the summary of the battle is, while those engaged at 96 were negotiating a truce, Colonel Richard Richardson was already on the way into the upcountry to arrest the leaders of the Loyalist Party. Colonel Richardson decided that his mission was not affected by the truce signed at 96 and proceeded, which happened last week, and proceeded to carry out his instructions. Receiving intelligence that the most active leaders of the opposition were encamped on Cherokee land, he dispatched a force under Colonel William Thompson of the 3rd Regiment of Rangers from South Carolina, which surprised the Loyalists on the morning of December 22nd and defeated them in the Battle of Great Cane Brake. Most of the Loyalist band were captured and sent back to face charges of sedition in Charleston. However, Patrick Cunningham and Colonel Joseph Robinson escaped to the Cherokee Nation. The Great Cane Brake is located on Reedy River in the southern part of present Greenville County. The only location Colonel Richardson gives us is at the site of the long march of nearly 25 miles came from his camp at Hollingworth's Mill on Rayborn's Creek in present-day Lawrence County, and the modern spelling is Rabon Creek, R-A-B-O-N. Luxuriant growth of cane were quite common in river valleys of the upcountry before the American Revolution. All right? So, the Battle of Great Cane was another victory for American forces. Next, the British passed the Prohibitory Act blockading American ports. The next thing was on 22nd of December, Essex Hopkins was appointed the only Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Navy, and he was relieved of his command and duties in 1778. All right, and then the last thing, I have a letter from John Hancock to General Washington on the 22nd of December from Philadelphia. Okay, sir, your letters from the 30th of November and of the 4th, the 7th, and 11th of December, being duly received, were laid before Congress to prevent the ill consequences that might ensue the backwardness of men in the present service to re-enlist. The Congress, as I informed you in my last, have written to the governors of Connecticut and Rhode Island, the Council of Massachusetts Bay, and the president of the Convention of New Hampshire, in consequence of which letters they have strong hopes and confidence that measures will be taken to complete your army. As article of butter, the Congress desires to obviate, I can't pronounce that word, whatever may have a tendency to give you solidarity room for complaint, have instructed me to inform you that the same may be continued until further notice. The Congress received with great satisfaction your congratulations on the success of Captain Manley, who by the enclosed resolves you will proceed with their determination on the captures already made, as well as those which may be made thereafter. It is expected the several colonies will erect courts of admiralty, and that the judges in those courts will regulate their decisions by the law of nations, except where it is relaxed by the enclosed resolutions. I am further directed to inform you that Congress approve your taking such of articles found aboard the Concord as are necessary for the Army. The necessity of the case will, they apprehend, just the measure, even though the vessel upon trial should, contrary to their expectation, be acquitted. I am authorized to inform you that it is the pleasure of Congress that Mr. Mifflin, the Quartermaster General, hold the rank of Colonel in the Army of the United Colonies, and that you establish his rank accordingly. I must beg leave to refer you that the enclosed resolutions of Congress for your future proceedings, which I am directed to transmit you. You will notice that the last resolution relative to an attack on Boston has that this passed after a most serious debate in the committee of the whole House, and the execution referred to you. May God crown your attempt with success. I most heartily wish it, though individually I may be of greatest sufferer. He's talking about the attack on the Boston. I have paid Mr. Fessenden the express in full for his 3 journeys to express to Philadelphia, deducting only $60, which he says you ordered him, that there will be no pay due to him. And I'm sorry, sir, no pay dues are horrible, to him for services performed heretofore, only for his expenses now from this place to you. If this adjustment is not right, please to inform me. I have the honor to be, with his sincere sentiments, esteem, sir, your most humble servant, John Hancock, President. And then said, Fessenden being indisposed, I have sent a special express, as Congress were anxious their resolves could reach you as quickly as possible. So the main thing in this whole letter about promotions and funding and reimbursements was that they told him that he could get prepared and to attack Boston. All right. So those are your America 250 stuff for the 21st and the 22nd of December 1775. All right. I got some people watching. That's good. I do this every single day. I do my podcasts. So if you're new, you're like, what is he reading letters from the American Revolution? Because it's important for us to know and to pass on to our kids about what happened 250 years ago and how it happened. All right. So all these letters are the personal experiences from future presidents and leaders of the Continental Congress and battles that happened within the United Colonies. Remember, we wasn't called the United States at that moment, all right? Even though I will call it the United States and American. All right. So we have, y'all got to bear with me because of this deal with my Stream Deck. I'm going to hit the transition, see if it works. Nope. Wow. Okay. Go back to manual mode. All right. This is the Dalmatian Burger Group. They're right here in Copper's Cove. They make smash burgers and dogs. All their ingredients are homemade, including their buns. All right, they're open Tuesdays through Saturdays. I don't know if they're open. Well, I know they're going to be closed on Thursday, but I don't know if they're going to be open on Friday. Well, I'll have to ask them tomorrow. But Tuesday through Saturday, from 11 to 2 and then 5:30 to 7, and they're located in Copper's Cove on the west side behind Bush's Chicken. All right. So, and as you can see, they got a good assortment of burgers and they're low priced. So if you're in the Killeen area, the Copper's Cove area, come on over to the Cove, spend some money over here, and buy some good stuff. All right. So I'll go back to my. I gotta get the slides right. All right. Good. All right. So the title of the podcast with Trump approval jumps to 50%. So just a little while ago, I got it's about 10 o'clock when I saw it. Trump approval rating rebounds as new poll shows him hitting a 3-month high. Okay, President Trump received some rare good polling news today, as a new survey shows him with his highest approval rating since early fall. The poll of likely voters by Insider Advantage shows 50% approval of the job Trump is doing, with 41% disapprove, with the remaining 9% undecided. Monday's results marked the highest raw approval rating for the president in the Insider Advantage surveys since last September, when he had a 52% approval rating. That's good. And the demographics on the poll was 800 likely voters with a combination of cell phones and text messages on the 19th and 20th of December, with a margin of error plus or minus 3.5%. So it's actually a pretty accurate poll. So that's good. President shifted his talk to affordability, and which is very important, because the lamestream media will not give him credit for anything, and then some of the conservative media is just as harsh on him, and they won't give him the credit. So go directly to the American people. That was great. He has nowhere to go but up. And the higher he goes up, the more easily it is for the Congress to get reelected conservatively. Okay. Next is Elise Stefanik. Well, if you didn't know, Elise Stefanik dropped out of the Republican primary for the New York governorship, and then she also said she will not run for re-election in Congress. And I'm like, what in the world? She said it was because she wants to be a better mom. Okay, that's what she was saying. And then I found out that the president wouldn't endorse her because he likes both of them, Bruce Blakeman and Elise Stefanik. And she felt like she had already earned it because she spent, I believe, 6 years or 8 years in Congress, and she was a personal friend of the president. But the president didn't want to endorse either one of them right now, to let them run and to figure out who was going to be the nominee to run against Kathy Hochul. She got butthurt. She dropped her bid for the governorship, and now she's going to retire in January 2027. Oh boy. The part of getting elected is sometimes you have to campaign and earn that vote. You can't just be coronated, like some people say, and then it all be given to you. Bruce Blakeman is a really good legislator in Nassau County. He just got reelected by a landslide. I believe, I may be wrong. If I'm wrong and you're on here and you know, let me know. Chat it in. But I believe he got 69% of the vote in Nassau County. And I know Nassau County is very conservative. A lot of Republicans there. But I do believe he got about 69%. So the article here is it came from Fox News. President Trump endorsed Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman for governor on Saturday, throwing his support behind Long Island Republican one day after Elise Stefanik withdrew from the race. Trump announced the endorsement in a lengthy post on Truth Social, calling Blakeman very highly respected and very popular, and praising his record on immigration enforcement, public safety, and economic issues. Highly respected and very popular Nassau County Executive Bruce. Okay, that is like here in Texas, what they're talking about are county judges. Okay, and in New York they call them county executives. Bruce Blakeman is running to be the next governor of New York. The endorsement follows Fox News Digital reporting that Stefanik's surprise decision not to run was driven in part by concern over Trump's lack of clear commitment and to back her in the New York governor's race, according to sources. Bruce is MAGA all the way and has been with me from the very beginning, Trump added. In his post, he praised Blakeman's work with federal immigration authorities and local law enforcement, framing the race around border security and crime. And some Republicans have emphasized his historically blue states. As Nassau County Executive, he is working tirelessly with the brave heroes of ICE, Border Patrol, and law enforcement to keep our border secure, stop migrant crime, safeguard our community, and ensure law and order, Trump wrote. So that's Bruce Blakeman running for governor now as a major candidate. I don't think anyone else has entered in since Elise Stefanik has dropped out. Bruce Blakeman, I believe this is his first office he's held, but he just got reelected to another 4-year term, and he's going to run for governor. His brother is Brad Blakeman, a very conservative political strategist that's worked for, I believe, Ronald Reagan, Bush Jr., and in the first Trump administration also. So he has very conservative upbringings and ties, and he brings a strong game to run against Kathy Hochul. So let's see how this works, right? I don't know what's in the future for Elise Stefanik. Maybe she'll run again. You never know. Maybe she'll see the writing on the wall and might run against Chuck Schumer in 2028. That might be a good thing to consider. Maybe if she's hearing my podcast or throwing a noser, might think that might be a good thing for her to process and maybe try for that, right? And his term ends not in 2027 but 2029. So not this election cycle, but the presidential election cycle. All right, so let me mark that off. I've got that done. Got Barry Man. Can you believe that Barry Manilow has got lung cancer? But they said he caught it very early stage, and it's going to be a little operation. And he said no chemotherapy. That's great. And he's 82 years old. He got very, very lucky there. And since I just spoke about entertainment, Paramount this morning announced that they have a personal guarantor for the buyout of Warner Brothers and Discovery. So it's like a $108 billion bid on Warner Brothers, way overdoing what Netflix wants to give, but Warner Brothers rejected the bid due that it was not a secure bid, but Larry Ellison, I didn't print this one out. Larry Ellison guaranteed $40 billion of security for the purchase of Warner Brothers. So game is back on. We'll see, right? We do know that in another article I read this morning that the Screen Actors Guild didn't like the fact that Netflix wanted to buy Warner Brothers. So I guess they support Paramount's bid, or Skydance, or whatever they want to call it these days, bid to actually buy Warner Brothers. It shall be seen, right? And another entertainment thing, TikTok, the sale of TikTok will be final. It will close on 22nd of January. So with the purchase, not closed. I mean, when you close on a contract, okay? To Oracle, Silver Lake, and other investors. So it'll be an American company as of the 22nd of January, which a lot of people have been rooting for. All right, so at Turning Point USA this weekend, they had AmericaFest. Vice President there was there yesterday. Matter of fact, so with the yesterday morning, I knew the VP was going to be there because I'd already heard it early in the morning, right? And on Sundays, I usually watch the news when I first get up, and then I put on Christian music for most the rest of the day, right? But I heard that they opened the doors at 4 a.m. For a special guest, and everybody knew it was going to be VP. Then nobody knew Nicki Minaj was going to be there also. But the VP was there, and but Rachel's best friend from college, her and her family flew to Phoenix to go to AmericaFest, which would have been awesome to go to. But she wrote Rachel while we were eating breakfast, getting ready for church. Man, the VP is going to be here. It took us so long because we had to go through the Secret Service and stuff. And like, well, if she would have asked, I would have told her a long time ago that the VP was going to be there. So, but he was the last speaker of the evening. He gave a really good speech. I have an article here from Fox News, Charles Creets, that wrote this. Vice President J.D. Vance closed out AmericaFest 2025, Turning Point USA's first convention since founder Charlie Kirk's assassination, by telling the raucous crowd that the America First movement is open to free thinkers who love their country. Vance appeared shortly after Erica Kirk, who took TPUSA reins after her husband's death in September, held a discussion with surprise guest Nicki Minaj. The vice president told the crowd that the political coalition forged by President Trump is strong enough to surmount disagreements within. People of every faith come to our banner because they know that America First movement will make our lives better. He went on. They know Democrats don't care about anything other than transitioning their kids, vowing to stand with every patriot in this room to defend the country we so dearly love. Vance dismissed conservatives' infighting that had gone on earlier in the conference, while not naming any of the podcasters or subjects involved. which is a good idea. President Trump did not build the greatest coalition in politics by running his supporters through endless, self-defeating purity tests. Vance said on as some of the earlier speakers name dropped each other amid divisions over Israel, Ukraine aid, and other controversial issues on the right. Remember, we only have one president, okay? We don't care if you're white or black, rich or poor, young or old, rural or urban, controversial or a little bit boring, which I can be sometimes, or something in between. People of every faith come to our banner because they know that America First movement will make their lives better, and they also know that the Democrats don't care about anything other than maybe transitioning their kids. So if you love America, if you want all of us to be richer, stronger, safer, and prouder, you have a home on this team. I didn't bring a list of conservatives to denounce or to deplatform, and I don't really care if some people out there, I'm sure will have the fake news media denounce me after this speech. Later in the speech, however, he said that such infighting is not necessarily a sign of weak or fractious movement. Some of you are impatient and pace of progress, and my response to that is good. He said, appearing to refer to criticisms of the Republican Congress progress of the America First agenda. I know some of you are discouraged by the infighting over a number of issues. Don't be discouraged. Wouldn't you rather lead a movement of free thinkers who sometimes disagree than a bunch of drones who take the orders from George Soros equipped? He said Charlie Kirk once told him that politics is not a dress rehearsal or a game, but a series of decisions that will shape the future of our country. Very true. My friends, commit to these things, and I promise you victory. I promise you closed borders and safe communities. I promise you good jobs and a dignified life. Only God can promise you salvation in heaven, but together we can fulfill the promise of the greatest nation in the history of the earth, he said as he closed his speech. So let me scan through this. Yep, that's about all on that one. Erica Kirk endorsed him to be president in 2028, and I know he's going to have competition, but right now, I think he's it. I think he is well on becoming the next president. We still have 3 years to figure it all out, right? Well, really, less than 3 years now. All right, you put that over there. Byron Donalds, he was at Turning Point USA. I'm just going to read a little bit about this. Byron Donalds is running for governor of Florida, and he said the GOP must focus on their mission, must stay on mission, right? That's after, we lost a few elections. The only election we really lost was the mayor of Miami. That's about the only. The rest of them were in heavily Democrat areas. Okay. It says here, Florida Republican Congressman Byron Donalds said Sunday the best response to recent electoral setbacks for conservatives is to put in the work and focus on instituting their vision for the country and delivering tangible results for the American people. If you sit on your laurels, you're going to get beat. You got to get out there. kiss babies, flip pancakes, and knock on doors. That's the only way, right? Look, we have disagreements that are well and good. We've got to be focused on the mission in front of us. We got to be focused on what actually is going to get voters to oppose and make sure that they turn out to vote. It's about having a set of positions, a philosophy, a vision for the future of this country. We have that vision. We got to continue to communicate it. I mean, that's Byron Donalds one-on-one. He's a financial master. He knows what he's talking about. And he's a several-term congressman. He's running for governor. He could have been a senator. But that you just got to keep it up. You just got to keep it up. So, did I put anything? Did I staple anything else on this? Nope. It turned out to be a really long article. In a minute. Make sure I didn't staple 2 articles to it. I did. Okay. So to continue on with that, here's another one from J.D. Vance. This is what I was looking for. J.D. Vance had 2 choice words for racist troll Nick Fuentes and others like MS Now or M Snow, Jen Psaki, who have made revolting comments about the second lady. He said, eat blank to Nick Fuentes. And I concur with that. Okay? It says, let me be clear. Anyone who attacks my wife, whether their name is Jen Psaki or Nick Fuentes, can eat blank. Vince told Unheard in an interview published Sunday. That is my official policy as the President of the United States. I wouldn't even tolerate if someone said that to my wife. Okay? Fuentes, a 27-year-old snot-nosed, 27-year-old far white supremacist, a Holocaust denier. I guess he didn't listen to me, people like me, about history, right? Maybe he needs to go to Poland and Germany and check out those places. Go to talk to the survivors that are still alive in Israel, right? He called Vance a race traitor for marrying Usha Vance, the daughter of 2 Indian immigrants, and has used hateful terms to describe her. You know, this is ridiculous. We have no room in our party for racists at all. I mean, for all I care, he can go out and vote with Democrats. I don't really care. I don't want to be around him. I won't refer to articles about him. I will never interview him. I will never play any videos about him. He is trash. All right? I didn't serve 20-something years in the Army to allow a racist to become president or run a political forum where he can get his say. I heard the other day another podcaster reported that he had a 6-hour-long podcast and over 1 million views on it. Yeah, just like he said, this guy's gonna have 1 million views because he showed 3 hours of videos and he talked for 3 hours with no coercive argument what he was talking about. He just blah 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 blah. He said, "Who is this guy really? Do we expect that the guy who has wow? Okay, go through this barely. Who is this guy really? Do we really expect the guy who has an Indian wife and named his kid Vivek is going to support white identity?" Fuentes said after Vance was selected as President Trump's running mate. On the other side of the political spectrum, Psaki, who served as President Biden's press secretary, commented in October that Usha needs to be rescued from Vance. I always wondered who was going to be in the mind of Vance's wife. Like, are you okay? Please blink 4 times. Come over here, we'll save you. Uh, During the same interview, Vance came strongly out against anti-Semitism and all racism. I stand the same way, drawing a hard line over what's unacceptable on the right. And he said, anti-Semitism and all forms of ethnic hatred have no place in a conservative movement, whether you're attacking somebody because they're white or because they're black or because they're Jewish. I think it's disgusting. His comments were revealed just hours before the Veep appeared on stage at Turning Point USA's AmericaFest and decried fellow conservatives for picking out names in their party to publicly backlash. And then Vance said, President Trump did not build the greatest coalition in politics by running his supporters through endless, self-defeating purity tests. I did not bring a list of conservatives to denounce or deplatform. Let me just say that in the best way to honor assassinate Turning Point's co-founder Charlie Kirk is that none of us should be doing something after Charlie's death that he himself refused to do in life. The only one I'd like to see deplatformed is Nick Fuentes. Okay? And I believe in the First Amendment, but if you're going to do stuff like that, that is pure racism and it should not be tolerated. I served my country. I went to combat for my country 3 times in a large. You got this snot-nosed brat. All he does is go to college, if he even went to college, and all he does is wants to race bait and cause a conflict between the different races in our country, political divisions and racial comments. That's what he's trying to do, until people start throwing bullets at each other. That's what people like that do. I'm not saying he would, but people like that, like him, want to do stuff like that. All right, hold on just a second. Let me reset. While I'm resetting, if you haven't already clicked that follow button or click that like button, time is now to do that. All right? Let me check my Rumble Studio real quick while we're getting ready. Okay, I'm back. All right. My next thing is, I don't think I'm going to finish all this stuff. Governor Landry I heard this just a little while ago. Governor Landry from Louisiana was appointed special envoy to Greenland. It does not require him to give up his governorship in Louisiana. It's like a voluntary position. But that's he's going to be the special envoy to Greenland, and it shows our support to the people of Greenland also. All right, and there were people in Denmark that really did not like that to happen either. But hey, such is life. Let's see. We'll talk about Nicki Minaj real quick. She made a surprise appearance with Erica Kirk, which was, I believe, right before the VP spoke. Rapper Nicki Minaj made a surprise appearance with Erica Kirk at the AmericaFest Sunday, where she took questions from Charlie Kirk's widow and urged young men to be handsome, dashing, like President Trump, while ripping Governor Gavin Newsom. That's a quote unquote. Trump, has given many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win, and to do it with your head held high. Minaj told the widow Kirk about her thoughts on the president. Erica noted that her late husband, Charlie, loved to bring surprise guests to Turning Point USA gatherings. During their on-stage discussion, the queen of rap, got candid about her religious journey and her decision to speak up against slaughtering the Christians in Nigeria. We won't be silenced ever again. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in the world, she declared. Minaj vowed that she's not going to back down anymore and urged AmericaFest attendees to stand by their core beliefs regardless of what other people say. When asked about the backlash over her politics in her industry, Minaj simply said, "I didn't notice." We're the cool kids. They're the people. They're the others that are still just disgruntled. Minaj stressed about their lefty critics. They are angry with themselves. In a world that doesn't want us to think, we will think. The famed rapper electrified the crowd and drew a steady stream of standing ovations when the feted conservative grassroots gathering in Arizona during her Q&A with Kirk. Minaj has been more outspoken about politics over the recent weeks. She made headlines last month for raising concerns about the treatment of Christians in Nigeria during a collaboration with U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Walz. Nigeria is a place I've always loved. Someone very dear to me, my pastor, is Nigerian, Minaj recounted to Kirk. I have lots of Nigerian barbs, and so hearing that while they're in church, people are being kidnapped, people are being killed, brutalized, all because of their religion, that should spark outrage. And earlier this month, the rap icon tore in the Newscomb with about a stand on transgender children. Minaj doubled down on her broadsides against the California governor during her appearance at AmericaFest, reading some of her social media jabs at Newscomb and when asked by Kirk. And then imagine being the guy running and wanting to see trans kids. Not even a trans adult would be running that. Normal adults want to be happy. Hold on, okay. Brown University janitor said he warned campus security about suspicious gunmen twice in weeks leading up to mass shooting. So that's an update on the mass shooting there. Let's move on to other stuff. Hopefully this doesn't affect her concert going. I'm not a rap person. I can't rap. I don't like listening to rap. The closest thing to rap I like is Toby Mac and Forrest Franks. And there's a couple other Christian artists I like. Hold on just a second. Okay. Matter of fact, let me get a cough drop in there. So we talked about that. So in Texas, the Department of Public Safety was informed about an audit that was conducted by Department of Transportation, and they were told that they audited 9,000 migrant-issued CDLs, and that 6,450 of them needed to be revoked because these were CDLs that were issued to migrants, green card holders with visas how do you say it? The visas had an expiration date long before the expiration of the CDL. So which it made them easily to become illegal aliens, right? So the Texas went ahead and terminated all 6,400 of those CDLs, or they would have lost $182 million in textile funds. Let's see, that's a lot of money. I guess finally construction would have stopped on I-35, but we want that to be finished, right? But that was a joke, people. That was a joke. If you're in Texas, you know I-35 is always under construction somewhere in the state, right? It never ends. But so 6,451 CDLs were revoked in Texas because their CDLs expired after the visas expired. So we want to keep our money, right? Man, a pencil dropped. I need to mark it off so I don't forget where I'm at. I read that one too. Okay. So another thing I saw this morning was I read that one just now by memory. It's good to go over the stuff you're going to go over in a podcast before you actually look at it. This is another one I read. So, Trump administration is pausing all offshore wind project construction due to national security concerns. Very, very important here. In a press release, Department of Interior, that would be Doug Burgum, wrote that the pause is due to national security risk identified in the Department of War in recently completed classified reports. In a press release, DOI says the pause will give the department, along with the Department of War and other relevant government agencies, time to work with leaseholders and state partners to assess the possibility of mitigating the national security risk posed by these projects. The prime duty of the United States government is to protect the American people, Secretary of Interior Doug Burgum said in the press release. Today's action addresses emerging national security risks, including the rapid evolution of relevant adversary technologies and vulnerabilities created by large-scale offshore projects with the proximity near our coast population centers. The Trump administration will always prioritize the security of the American people. The Department of Interior listed 5 leases that will be paused: Vineyard Wind 1, Revolution Wind, CVOW, Sunrise Wind, and Empire Wind. The department highlighted unclassified reports from the U.S. government in the past that have long found massive turbine blades in large offshore and wind projects can create radar interference called clutter that can obscure legitimate moving targets and generate false targets. Okay, I can stop there. So what they're saying is it's like playing Battleship, right? Or it's like when Pearl Harbor was attacked in 1941. And one of the radar men thought it was a radar blob of birds, or there was a flight of what do you call it, B-29s inbound from the mainland, right? But it caused a lot of clutter. They did not know exactly what was going on because they didn't have the hard facts. Now, just modern day, 2025, you have 500 acres of windmills offshore with these huge blades that turn around and kill all the birds in sight, but they generate radar heat. And if you could circumnavigate that and bring in a flight of aircraft or missiles or drones, they would not be seen by the coastal defenses until the last second. And that's what they're worried about. All right. I am out of time. So I'm going to read a couple more real quick and continue my huge stack of papers that more Minnesota stuff I didn't get to. So we'll talk about this one. In Lubbock County, you know where Lubbock is, right? In the Panhandle, where Texas Tech is. Well, this is, there was a Republican county commissioner that filed a run in Joey Arrington's Republican primary because Jody is retiring, right? So Jason Corley decided he wanted to put his hat in the ring for the Republican primary. So he did that, and I can't believe how quickly this happened, but the county commissioner I can't find the county commissioner's name. Okay, but what the county commissioner did was he immediately named the replacement for Mr. Corley, because in Texas we have resign to run, which states that if you are running for an office and it's more than 1 year and 30 days prior to you before your term ends, you have to resign, and it's automatic, right? You can't just rescind that, oh, I'm not going to run now. Well, you already made the statement or you file the paperwork. You're done. All right. So a state judge, reversed that order and said he continued to serve as a county commissioner and then run for federal office. Now, what it says in this article, I cannot get to it on. Nope, it's not in there, and I can't get to it on my computer over there. Well, if you look at resign to run, attorney general arguments here in the state of Texas, Greg Abbott had one. That was before he became governor. But from all aspects, I really think that the county judge is correct in this, because it looks like the county commissioner was required to resign to run for Congress. I could be wrong. It's in, if you look up the Texas scorecard articles in there, okay? But from what I read in here, and from what I read, let's see if I can get to it. If I can actually see. Give me a second here. It is, there it is, if I could just reach it. So it's so when you get old, you lose your sight. Okay. Texas Constitution, Article 16, Section 65, resign to run provision. Look it up. I think the guy's wrong, and he may have to resign as county commissioner. And who cares? I mean, yeah, county commissioners get paid to do their job, and they're in charge of roads and stuff like that. They're important, but if you want to run for Congress, run for Congress, right? The next is here in Texas, another Texas scorecard. Lena Hidalgo, she's a county judge for Harris County, and that she's going to be she's not running for re-election. Hidalgo has urged Democrat primary voters to reject former Houston Mayor Anise Parker, asserting herself into a race who will succeed her and deepening a growing divide in the county's Democrat Party. So she's more of a not a liberal Democrat, but a moderate Democrat. Even though, oh my goodness, where are they into now? But she wants a liberal to replace her. So, just it said the Texas scorecard also. And then the last thing I want to bring up is Trump. This was about 3 hours ago. Trump is recalling 48 ambassadors from Africa, Asia, and Eastern Europe and South America. And you're like, oh, why is he doing that for now? Because a vast majority of these ambassadors were appointed by Joe Biden, and they needed to be replaced. It's been a year. It's time for them to go. All right? That was out of the New York Post. I'm going to finish this up so I can go. It'll sound like my cats are about to break something. All right. So here's my socials. I'm on X, Facebook, YouTube, Truth Social, and that's my email address. Please support me and click that follow button and click the like button. And oh my goodness, man! I don't know what they're into. Let me go check that out. Don't forget, I will be on tomorrow, and I'm gonna be doing America 250 reports from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And if there's any breaking news, I'll bring that in there, right? So, thank you for bearing with me in this distraction that's going on. Hopefully, the cats will survive. No, they will. Let me go make sure they're okay. All right, guys. Hey, this is James Pierce with the JP8 report. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out.